Good morning and welcome to today's webinar on creating a successful social media strategy. My name is Dennis Walsh. I am a volunteer with SCORE, and I wanted to cover just a few introductory items before turning things over to our facilitator for today, Dale Shadbegian. You see listed on this slide the organizations that provide assistance to us in presenting this webinar. We are supported by the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce and the various Chamber of Commerces located on Cape Cod and the islands, as well as by the Community Development Partnership located in Eastham. As always, we are grateful to all of these organizations for their ongoing support of our educational programs. Those of you who are not familiar with SCORE, we are a fully volunteer nonprofit organization and a resource partner of the U.S. Small Business Administration. SCORE's mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. SCORE has been doing this work since its founding in 1964 through educational opportunities like this webinar, as well as by providing mentoring to people who are in business or are thinking about starting a business. We benefit from having more than 50 volunteer mentors and subject matter experts serving in our chapter here on Cape Cod and the islands, people who have a broad array of different career experiences and expertise. So if you would like to avail yourself of these mentoring services, all of which come at no cost and are completely confidential, you can call the SCORE office at 508-775-4884 or go online to seek an appointment at our website, clicking to find a mentor tab to get started. I also know that many of you on this webinar today come from other SCORE chapters in our district, a district that covers all of Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Mentors and subject matter experts in each of these chapters are ready to provide mentoring assistance to you as well. Their website address access is listed here and will be posted later in the chat function. You see on this slide a reference to Coastal Capital, a lending organization based here on the Cape that is licensed to do business throughout Massachusetts. We here at the Cape and Islands chapter of SCORE frequently work together with Coastal, helping their clients to develop their business plans further and helping our clients to better understand the scope of financing alternatives that may be available to them. Last preliminary, today's procedures. All participants other than our facilitator have been muted. We ask that you enter any questions or comments that you might have into the Q&A feature using the button that you would see at the bottom of your screen. Please do not enter them into the chat. It is just easier for us to track one feature. We will answer as many questions as we can during the course of the discussion. Be aware that the webinar is being recorded and we will send the link of the recording and other materials to all who have registered for today's session once the recording is available. And we will launch a poll near the end of the webinar. We would appreciate you responding to the poll before you leave. It helps us to make sure our educational programming is meeting the needs of our small business community. And now I will turn things over to our facilitator, my colleague, Dale Shadbegian.
Perfect. Thank you, Dennis. Can you, all right, I'm going to share my screen here. All right. Can you see okay?
Yes.
Zoom is acting up today. Good morning, everyone. Dale Shadbegian here. We're going to have some fun this morning. I'm drinking a blueberry protein smoothie here. Feel free to jump in, ask questions anytime you want. This is social media strategy. I'm a SCORE subject matter expert. I volunteer my time. I think it's been 7 years I've been doing this. I'm a Fitchburg State grad. focused on information systems. So I have a heavy business background, heavy marketing and tech background. I've been creating websites and engaging in some level of digital marketing for 20 years now. And, my shtick is that I had a lot of help along my way to get to where I am, and I still get help. I still get help from SCORE, and I'm happy to kind of transfer this knowledge onto someone else. So we're going to talk about strategy today, right? There's a lot going on with social media, right? Whether you have not engaged in any social media, or you're doing some and you're not consistent, or you're not seeing that traction, or you want to learn the platforms more, there's so much we can do to better ourselves. We can only do so much in 45 minutes. But to me, the strategy part is the part you can't watch a YouTube video on, right? How do you come up with a plan of action or a policy in your company so that you achieve the goals of your business, right? And your goals could be revenue, it could be following, it could be awareness. There's so many things. If you don't get that part right, no matter what you do, no matter how much money you spend, you're not going to be as effective. So that's what we're going to focus on. If you do have really specific questions, I am available for free as a volunteer mentor to help whatever you need social media wise. We're going to talk about basic social media concepts, setting goals, what is optimal content, what kind of content can we create to reach those goals. We're going to talk about groups on Facebook and LinkedIn very briefly, and then of course Q&A. I'm going to give you my experience, my wisdom. I read, I succeed a lot, I fail a lot. I'm going to give you guidelines based on my experience. Your job is to use what you think is relevant in your business. Not everything I say is going to be relevant to you. And if you're not sure, you can ask. So just a reminder, when we start out in business, nobody knows about us, right? People start hearing about us, and we want to move to the top of this pyramid, right? We want people to know about us. We want to be viewed as an expert, or we need to be viewed as an expert. We need to be viewed as somebody who can solve a problem for somebody. The top of that pyramid, which is where we want to get, is people are always seeing us, they're always thinking about us, and we are someone who can solve their problem. We also need to think about, why do people buy things, or why do they subscribe to a newsletter, or why do they want to follow your Instagram or your Facebook or your LinkedIn, right? Humans are emotional. We have emotional needs. We want things. In this process, we get this idea in our head that we want or need something, right? And I have two scenarios. If your water heater breaks and you've got a basement full of water on the floor, that's a pretty easy need right there, right? You're probably going to go to Google and find a plumber or find a HVAC company to come and fix it. If you see a pair of flip-flops online, that's something you want, and you might do a little bit more research. You might visit a website. You might follow that company for a while, search around. It's a totally different buying process. You need to think about your product. Is it something that somebody wants, or is it something that somebody needs? Social media is a lot better for a want, triggering an idea in someone's head. But you also need to think about, even if they see you online on a social media platform, 80% of people are still going to do research on your name, visit your website. They may do some more. They may not just react to that ad, especially the first time, and start buying or subscribing to whatever you're doing. So just keep that in mind. Big, huge takeaway right here. Social media is not selling media, right? The best profiles are the ones who do this: create and nurture a place where people want to be part of and where they feel appreciated. And I'll show you some examples of that. You want to promote ideas, you want to promote your industry and promote this whole concept, right? You want to help others. Obviously, everybody wants to help in business. You want to help everybody, but you know what I mean? You can go out of your way to share some information that may not result in a sale for you. You can't always be like, buy this, here are my hours, I'm doing this, buy this, right? You got to kind of get a little bit more social about it. So you want to avoid the constant self-promoting, selling, ignoring people, like or reply to every comment, tell them thank you for the feedback, even if it's negative. I mean, if it's really negative, you want to hide or delete it. But even if someone has something negative to say, you know what? Thanks for taking the time to share this feedback with us. When you do this over time, you start to build a rapport with your customers. And if this is out of your comfort zone, social media may not be for you. You may want to find someone who can do this. And you watch, when you start to build this community and you get a negative comment, watch how your clan, your crew comes in to save you and stick up for you. It's a really cool thing when you start to build this community. So one of the first things in social media is we do this as professionals, we do this in our business. What is our voice, right? What are we saying? What do we stand for? Who do we want to talk to? How do we want to be perceived? Are you confident? Are you humble? Are you confidently humble? Personally, I like to be confidently humble. I like to say, be confident about these problems that we can solve, to be the expert, but to always be humble, never be too overconfident, to always be thankful, always appreciate every single thing a follower online or a reviewer or a customer does for your business, right? So some things that, you're going to come in charging like, this is going to blow your socks off. This is the best XYZ ever. Okay, that's really confident, and if you want to be that way, that may work for your audience, right? And we're going to talk about that. What I tend to do is, rather than saying, say something more like, our team has been working so hard to introduce this awesome thing that we think is going to change your life, right? A little bit more receptive, I think, for a lot of audiences. So think about your wording and how you're going to define your voice and be consistent about it. Think about we versus I. So in my business, if I spent a day working on something and I put it out there, I'm not going to say, look what I did. I'm going to say, look at what we have developed, or look at what we are working on. Again, that's my voice. I just think it sounds a lot better. It brings kind of a team to our customers, makes them feel a little bit more comfortable. But again, this is my business. You might be a solopreneur, and that's fine. Think about these words that you use and be consistent about it. Next thing is, I'm not going to go through this whole slide. You want to think about where does your audience congregate, right? So I've got 7 of the top-ish social platforms here: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok. You want to think about where do your customers congregate, right? That's always what we do in marketing. Where can I find a group of people who are interested in what I'm doing? You also need to think about the person that pays the bill or actually shops with you may not be a decision maker, right? So a lot of times you may have someone in their 40s plus making the ultimate decision, contacting you, paying the bills, but they may have someone younger in the office or in their organization who's out there doing the research. They've been asked to go find this thing, and they might be on Instagram and you're not, right? They might be on TikTok and you're not. If they're under 25, they're probably on Snapchat, right? So these are the things we need to think about. Who is driving decisions? Who's paying the bills? Where are all these people going? And think about how your voice may be a little different between, your voice is definitely going to be different between a LinkedIn, an Instagram, and a Snapchat and a Facebook, right? So think about that. And we're going to be very conscious about that in our strategy. So one of the companies I own is a marketing company, and I made this graphic so you could kind of understand, like, I want to set some goals for myself on social media. I don't want to pay someone, or I don't want to spend time without achieving something, right? You've probably been told you need to be on social media. Great. I'm on social media. Now what? If we're going to spend this time here, we really want to make the best of it. So in my marketing company, we've got a few different sources of revenue. There's a fourth one here where we actually offer marketing services. It's not in this graphic, but you get the idea. So we're using social media as a whole to kind of grow our circle of influence, right? I want to get my arms around the people that support us, starting really grassroots, your friends, your family, and then you want to expand that circle out. So you're going to use social media to kind of grow itself, right? We've got a monthly edition, we've got a newsletter, and we've got a website that we sell ads on. So in addition to being social, I need to make sure that I have content and a voice that's going to support these 4 initiatives, right? That makes my job real easy. If I want more people to sign up for my newsletter, I'll sit down with the team and say, team, why would someone want to read our newsletter? What's in it for them? Who's going to read it? How often do they want to read it? Why would they sign up? We talk about these things, and then we create content that will drive interest in signing up for that newsletter. Signing up for the newsletter is good for us because if someone advertises to be in that newsletter, they get value out of it, right? And that's how we stay in business. So my suggestion to you is you have to think about your revenue goals, right? Or your streams rather. Maybe you sell product, maybe you book things, maybe you have maybe you have a hotel and a restaurant and you want people to come out and have drinks. So, you've got like these different, you have to really have a good business plan here to do this. I like to make columns in a spreadsheet, and in the columns, which I'll show you in a second, I like to have my goal. One of them might be, I want more newsletter people. The audience is people who are nosy. They want to know what's going on in the business community, right? They want to know who's getting promoted, who got a new job, who opened a new store. They're nosy. They want to know what's going on in the community. They want to check on their competitors, et cetera, et cetera. What makes them be interested in that? Well, we're going to publish news stories, right? We're going to tell them what's going on in the community. What makes them want to advertise with us? That's a tough one for us. We have a really soft sell. I don't actually come out and say, buy this. We're looking to just give back, give back, give back. And then every once in a while, we'll make an ask saying, hey, we've got some openings. I always use a content template. Not always, but most of the time I'll use a content template for my posts. So if I want to do a news story, I've got a template with some guidelines on it, and I'll show you that. You want to talk about your frequency, and obviously you want to set up your hashtags. And if you don't know what hashtags are, I'll cover that at the end, but I feel like most people may hopefully know that at this point, but if you don't, I'll cover that at the end. So I'm just going to pull my spreadsheet up here real quick because I feel like it really illustrates kind of what I'm doing. Can you see that, Dennis? Okay. Is that
Yes.
big?
Yes.
Okay, so I have my goal, right? Why am I on social media, right? In between the fun stuff. I want newsletter signups. I want people to be more interested in following, right? I have to give them a reason to stick around. I want to get people excited about sending us their information, right? So if you're opening a business, I want to know about it, right? Because that's how we full circle this whole thing. The way we do that is sometimes we'll say, hey, we reached X followers, or I'll email the business and say, hey, 1,000 people saw this post. So I want to get people excited about continually sending information. Obviously, we provide marketing services. So we've got activities around that. I define my audience. I define where do they congregate. For us, it's mostly Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I have clients that I manage that are on TikTok and Snapchat. Totally different world. We can get to that later if you want. What makes them buy? Again, I link out to my template, my frequency. So this is my schedule. I just do days of the week. And then I put my hashtags in here. And do I want to be selling or am I natural, right? So I always want to be natural, meaning if I'm posting a news story, I'm not going to say, Dennis Walsh opens, dog grooming business in Dennis. Send us your press release. I'm just going to put it out there, and then maybe once a week I'll say, hey, we're looking for press releases. What's going on in your business, right? So I'm not always selling. We're trying to promote others, and that's our goals. So I can send you the sheet if you want, or Dennis can send it out afterwards. And one thing I want to link. So this basically sets up my whole week. So on Tuesday, I know what I'm doing, right? On Wednesday, we're gonna post this. And I told you that I recommend a template, right? So when you're posting, whether it's me or someone on my team, we're on the same page. I like to put 20% max text on the graphic. I like to use bold, rich colors. Always leave a border around your content. Always use someone's face if possible. Put in the company logo. And again, this is my strategy. These are meeting my goals. Yours will be different. I never put our logo in it. I'll put our logo in it if we're talking about our services, so that if someone shares it, the logo remains in the picture. But I'm not promoting myself in these posts. No grades.
Dale,
Yes.
excuse me. A participant has asked about how many hashtags do you recommend on each post?
So that changes frequently. I just read an article, Instagram. So Facebook, I don't think people use hashtags as much. Instagram, it's a lot more prevalent. You can actually follow a hashtag. So like I follow Cape Cod photography, I follow Cape Cod business, and it comes up in my feed. The recommendation right now is about 10 hashtags. And when you're doing your hashtags, don't pick one has 10 million posts associated with it. Try and find something in the thousands to 100,000. So for example, if you're a kitchen cabinet designer, as one of my clients, if I put hashtag kitchen cabinets, it's got like 20 million posts. I'm never going to get found in that. But if I put in, contemporary kitchen cabinet designer, it might have several thousand posts that it's in. And someone looking for just to discover more content related to that, I have a much better chance of coming up in that discovery.
And a second question involved, you're sharing this sample template. You are going to make that available to the attendees?
Yeah, anything you want that I show you today, you can use and do whatever you want with.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So the last thing you want to do that I always recommend is try and tag a person or a company. When you're tagging people to your posts, they're going to get notifications, especially on Instagram. This is a real big thing on Instagram that I overlooked for a long time. If you tag someone to a post, it's easy for them to add it to like their story so that people can see that you posted about them. So let's just say a new ice cream place opens and I post about it and I tag them. It's easier, or to tag, you can tag yourself as a person too. It's easier for someone to share that as a story or as another post without having to kind of redo. It just works a little bit differently than Facebook. If you're not using stories, I'll talk about that later. Do not underestimate them. I've had a huge amount of traction with stories, and I'll show you some examples of that later. So moving down. So here's an example post. Big Brothers Big Sisters Cape Cod announces Big of the Year. We put a little bit of text in here because sometimes the text will get lost in the post if someone shares it, but if they take the graphic and share it, you kind of keep the idea here. I've got a little border around the edge so that if it gets cropped or cut off, it's really hard now posting between Facebook and Instagram. If you haven't noticed, it's gotten difficult to use the same. You almost have to reformat things now. This is going to this will look fine on both platforms. And then if I go down, you'll see more of the same. We kind of just keep it real plain, real simple. You notice the pictures are colorful. That looks like that might even be a stock photo or we got it from a press release. You get the idea. Sometimes we'll put a little fancy icon here, but Canva is really easy. They even have like ready-made templates that you can drag and drop in here. That could be a whole separate class. or seminar. So I'm going to jump back here. So we've talked about your voice. We talked about picking the right platform. We've got, let me go back into slideshow mode. We've talked about your frequency, creating content that meets your goals, right? Next thing you need to think about is you have to think like the platform you're on. All the platforms make money by displaying ads, right? You want to be really careful about putting links in your post text. Why? Because it takes the attention away from that platform. So on Instagram, for example, you want to set up a link tree or one link in your bio that can take people out. And when you post, you'll say something like link in bio. You've probably heard that before if you're not using it already. Sometimes if I have to link out from a post, I'll say link in first comment, and then I'll put my link in the first comment. That's kind of a cheat. I don't know if that really works or not. Another thing you want to avoid is just when you go to Facebook and you just share someone's post, you're going to get much less reach out of it because that content already exists on Facebook. It's just not going to go as far. However, when you do share a post, the person you share it from gets a notification that you share it. So you're building some type of a community there in a share. So think about that, even if there's the link or not a link in that post.
Dale, again, a question from a participant. Why don't we want to share a link again?
Facebook and Instagram, they make money as you scroll and you see ads and you click on, well, clicking ads can have links, but if you have an organic post and you have a link in it, that person clicking on that link now comes off the platform and that platform has stopped earning money. It's not like a said thing. It's sort of a conspiracy theory that people make out there. If you don't have to link in a post, I would really recommend that you don't. Say something like, check our bio for our website link, or link in first comment, something like that. This is just something that I do. You might put a link in your post and you notice you don't see any effect, but I notice when I put links in my post, the reach on it is drastically less. If I really, really, really want to sell something or I want to link to something, I will boost that post and put money on it. That will give me further reach with that post.
Dale, another person asked, how do you quote unquote link in bio?
I will show you that at the end, if that's okay.
Okay.
Make a note here. So remember, I said social media, not selling media, right? The apps watch us use the app in some respect, either the way you're scrolling. Some people think there's even been conspiracy theories that TikTok and Instagram can somehow watch you use the platform. I don't know if it's exactly like that. I think we can all say that we've experienced talking about something and then you get an ad for it the next day, right? But as you're scrolling and stopping and looking at content, clicking on things, liking things, searching for things, the platform's going to start to make a guess about the kind of content that you like. So as you're building your community, inviting people to like your page, you want to make sure you have people who will actually like your content be there, because if you're inviting people or you're buying links or you're buying followers, which really don't recommend, and they're not interacting with your content may not be served to them in the future. So if you don't understand this, let's say you have 1,000 followers on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll show you later, you post a piece of content, it may only reach 200 or 300 people. It's made a decision. Now remember, platforms make money by keeping people on the platform. If they feel you've posted something and it's not relevant to them, and I'll show you an example, they're not going to serve that piece of content to them. So this is why it's really important to develop your audience through goals, right? Who's going to react to this post and catering to those people. It's okay if you have 3 goals and the people are different and you're reaching different segments of your audience, that's okay, right? As long as you're putting out content that's relevant to some of the people that follow you. Moving on with the content, I know this slide's a lot to take in, but I'm going to encourage you to experiment with the platforms. And my pro tip is create a blank Instagram profile, create a blank Facebook page or a business page in LinkedIn or wherever, and just start posting. Like, play with the content, play with the video size, play with the graphic size, right? Because you want to get this right. When you get a confidence level, or maybe you already have, and you get to your real profile, experiment, try going live. Post a video, try out reels, have someone put subtitles in one of your videos. I use a product called Kapwing. It's free. You can upload a video, click a button, it puts in subtitles for you. It's pretty cool. Try stories, go behind the scenes, right? I'll show you a picture. I own a bakery. We show pictures of us scooping muffins. We don't always show the finished product. Sometimes we show, people folding aprons, right? Or putting away the order, right? Or folding boxes. There's a lot that's going on in your business that's behind the scenes that might be fun. And for someone who loves your business, those things might be fun. Post a graphic, try a graphic with different colors. Try just text. I have an insurance client. We just post a tip with 2 or 3 sentences, and those posts do the best. I would never tell you in a million years, post something without a photo. For him, obviously he's not on Instagram, he's on Facebook. This works well for him, right? You don't know unless you try some of these things. And I'm going to show you how you can tell what's working and what isn't. On Facebook and Instagram, I really try and focus on faces. They seem to do the best. People smiling, people having a good time. Avoid negativity at all costs. Even if you're in the insurance business, don't talk about what if your house burns down, right? Talk about how you're going to protect their assets and the things you love, right? Or the things, how you're going to keep them safe. Maybe you're going to give them tips to avoid the house burning down, right? How great is that as an insurance person who actually helps you avoid getting into trouble? So think about these things, being positive, play with the platforms, try different things. You're going to fail. Don't worry about it. You have to get through this process until you get a good comfort level. I already talked about the test accounts.
Excuse me, Dale,
Yes.
just a point of information, a client asked, will we be sharing these slide decks? And as I mentioned in the introduction, SCORE will be sending out this entire presentation to each of the participants.
Great. Also, you have to understand that phones, I don't think you can see it here because I've got the green screen background. Phones make up a huge part of our viewing audience. When you're making your graphics, you have to make sure that it's viewable. The text, or a really important part of that post, is really distinguishable on a mobile device. So the next part of our strategy is, when do I post, right? There's no bulletproof answer. Every industry is different. Every profile is different. I have had 2 restaurants who do the same thing, and certain days of the week, one does better on one than the other one, and I cannot tell you why, right? But it's something you definitely need to consider. You also need to consider that a post may have 2 to 3 days of life. You want to plan ahead, right? So you're selling posts, you want to plan ahead. I recommend a couple weeks. So if you're thinking about Black Friday, you should be thinking about that in the beginning to middle of November, planning the content out, getting good photography made or shot, whether you have an iPhone or you're having a professional come in. Plan that out. Don't wait to the last minute. If you have an event, like maybe you have a tree lighting or something going on, holiday related, consider just setting up a Facebook event, right? Again, that's a mechanism of that platform that's available to us. Give it a shot. Who cares? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Plan your events out, a month in advance. Give it time to get some traction. Your insights on Facebook and Instagram will tell you when fans are online, and we're going to look at that. Hopefully, if I'm not going too slow here. All right, so we've got all this content, we've set our goals, we're posting. It's time to now expand our circle, right? We want more people to know what we're doing, unless you already have enough, which I doubt. Community building is a term to describe an effort that is really bringing people together to share common ideas. No matter what kind of business you have something in common with your customers, and you need to find that, right? If you're a Cape business, it might be easy. You might have a love of Cape Cod, and in between all your business posts, you go to a beach, you go to your favorite beach and take a photo, you go to your favorite river and take a photo, you go out to eat somewhere at a different place and talk about it, right? You've got something in common with these folks other than your business. You want to try and find that. You also have something in common with other businesses, right? I would recommend you go out and find at least 10 active businesses, no matter what platform you're on. As your business, go and follow those and watch your feed and like, share, and comment their posts where it's applicable. So if you're a breakfast place, find a night spot that has late night drinks, right? What a great way to kind of help promote each other. If you're, a t-shirt company, and, start interacting with the sports teams or promoting local, nonprofits. And, maybe there's some business there in the future, but in the beginning, you're building kind of this community, and you have to find that common thread with them that you can connect on. You're going to follow businesses that you don't have a connection with, and that's fine. You just want to keep going and keep finding them. The goal is, as you're helping them and being active on the platform, more of your content, they will follow you, and more of your content will be served to them as well. This is just something that a lot of people overlook if you're using Facebook or Instagram. I'm on the phone a lot because I do a lot of Instagram. I'm on the road a lot. This is a great app. It helps you. It's called, they change the name like I feel like every couple months. I think now it's called, I forget what it's called now. If you look up Business Suite on your app store, you'll find it. Yeah, it's called Business Suite now. It's called just Business Suite by Meta. This is a great app. And so it will give me all my notifications. I don't know if you can see the text here, but it will tell me if someone likes something. It'll tell me if they comment. I can tap right on that notification, and I can interact directly either through their public facing comment. If they sent me a direct message, I can message them back. This is the only way I can keep organized. As your profile grows, hopefully you're getting a lot of these, and you want to make sure you thank and reply to every single person that interacts with you. If you're running boosts on your posts, which means you're going to pay Facebook or Instagram money to send that post out to some type of audience, that's a whole separate thing that I'll get into in probably an offline discussion if you want. You've probably heard of boosting posts, right? When you boost a post, if someone likes that post or they comment on it, but they don't follow your page, the suite here, or if someone even shares your post, right? Let's just say Dennis shares my post and one of his followers doesn't like my page. I can invite Dennis's contact to follow my page because they publicly interacted with that post. This tool makes it really easy to do that. And look at this right here. 22 people reacted through shares that I can invite them to like my page. Think about that organic growth over time if you're doing this, of followers to your page.
Dale, a participant asked, you mentioned following on their business page. They were confused between that versus Facebook social.
So in each of the platforms, okay, so Facebook is different. You have so on Instagram, it's easy. If you have a business account, you can go to your little search and search for, just look up businesses in your area, or you can just, you can follow hashtags, and then you'll find the business that way. In Facebook, you have to switch from your personal profile to your business page. And then there's an option in there to follow. So I've got my bakery up here. As your business page, if I go to more and then community, is it community? They change it all the time. They actually make it harder and harder to do this. It's about tabs. I'll if you want, I'll get the instructions for you, but I can follow other businesses as Wolfie's Bakery, and then I get like a feed as Wolfie's Bakery, and I can see those businesses and interact as Wolfie's Bakery as opposed to myself, right? So if I like, share, a comment, and it will tell me up in the corner here who I'm interacting as, I can like, share, and comment as Wolfie's Bakery, as opposed to Dale Shedbezian. And it looks like they've moved it. Oh, so it says I'm interacting. I don't know how to get to my, this is a different screen because I'm on a MacBook here. I'll see if I can get you the instructions, but you can basically follow them and interact as the business. I hope that makes sense. If not, let me know and I'll dive deeper. So let's go into insights. I've got the screen open and I apologize. The Zoom controls are consuming my screen here. This is really important. Instagram and Facebook has an insights page. I'm going to just go show you Facebook here. Facebook will tell me, I don't know how many fans we have, 11, 12,000. It tells us when they're online. And if you look, it's pretty much even throughout the week. It tells me the time of day they're the most active. No surprise, dinner time's about the most popular. Now, we talked about when is the best time to post. So I want to give you a really great example with this bakery. In the summertime, we're really busy on the weekends and flat during the week. So on Fridays, I try to get everyone charged up. Hey, it's the weekend. What do you have going on for plans? I don't need to sell anything, right? What's good this weekend? What's everyone up to? Where are you going? What are you doing? Safe travels. Hope you have a great weekend. By the way, we're open on these days, just in case someone doesn't know. On Sunday night, I always do a post thanking everyone for coming in on the weekend. And I wish the weekend folks a safe travel home to wherever their destination is. I'll do a second post, or I'll do one Monday morning, because our slow days are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll set up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with a Monday post saying, here's our hours for the week. By the way, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is the best time to come. There's less people here, less traffic. And then I will boost that post because I want to try and even out my week, right? Weekends are crazy. You can't even get near the place. And then during the week, sometimes we're twiddling our thumbs, looking what we should do, looking for things to do. So I'll use that Monday post and I'll actually put money on it to try and get people more interested in coming in during that midweek, the locals, the people who came for the week, et cetera, et cetera. And if you have a seasonal business, I'm willing to bet you see similar behavior. Okay, back to insights. This is really important. If you don't view this often, I really recommend it. Each post, Facebook and Instagram in its own, and LinkedIn will too, I believe. TikTok, they pretty much all have their own version of this. I want to look at reach is probably the most important metric for me, more than engagement. Now, if you're putting a link to sell something, engagement or link clicks is going to be the most important. But again, for me, I'm trying to drive someone to a physical location here. I don't care about engagement. For me, reach is important. You can see here with this post, this is Kismet, our production manager. So I said, this is a thank you for everyone who came in this weekend. Nice smiling face here. This post did pretty well, right? It reached, now again, we've got 11,000 followers, I think, 12, I don't even remember. It only reached 2.3K, right? Again, it's reaching about, if you can reach 20 to 30% of your total following, that's a successful post, right? If you look down here, this one reached 13,000. That's because I put money on this post. I boosted this post. I spent $500 on this post because I really wanted to have a good weekend. And this, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but this post paid off for us. It's a new location, long story, but it's our goal is to get more traffic in, right? Here is a social post, right? We had another business that we're friends with opening in Brewster. And so, you know, I just took a funny picture. Like I lay down in the bed in their store. We took some pictures and I said, hey, here's, you know, we've got some friends opening the store. You should come and check it out. Again, not always selling. Didn't do as well, right? When 1.7K. Now, here's a really great example. This post reached 795 people. It was Black Friday, so I put a black square up. This will, to me, this kind of shows you that people are visual, right? This didn't get served to a lot of people. Now you can make your own assumptions why or why not, but that's the reality here. And I'm going to spare you for the rest of the details, but you want to go in here and you want to see, you have to start to make a decision why one post maybe did well and why another one didn't. It could be time of week. It could be the picture. I try to post pictures of myself or the staff on occasion. I'm not always saying, you know, that post was about being a business owner and how, you know, it's okay to fail. Sometimes we do good, sometimes we fail. It's okay. You don't always have to be selling stuff, right? Here's a selling post. Put a picture of a product here, multiple products, right? So you want to go through these insights and figure out what's working and what's not, and try some different things. Do you have any questions?
No, not at this time.
I'm going to jump to the end here. I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit. This is a hugely important slide. I really like this guy, Gary V. He has kind of a foul mouth, but he's got a lot of good things to say. My big takeaway is most people do it for a month and then they give up. I'm going on 10 years with Wolfie's Bakery to do a post that gets, you know, 200-300 likes. And I've spent money and I've spent time doing this. Certain businesses are going to be harder to grow than others. You have to think about your business goals. How many followers do I need to be successful? You know, we need a couple hundred people to come in a day. So I have some ratios that I worked out with the business advisor. You know, how many people do I need to reach on a daily or weekly basis to kind of get some of them in the, like, get that percentage in the door, right? Whatever that number is for you, which I would encourage you to figure out, don't give up. And my story about this is during COVID, our marketing company was really big with events. We do 40 under 40 and some other big events, and COVID just wiped that out. And I needed a way to stay relevant. So I had daily videos, like I called it Daily Dale. And then we did local focus where we talked about local businesses, and we did, you know, a lot of stuff over Zoom. And I did this for like 6 months and it felt really flat. I just felt like I was sort of broadcasting this message and I'd get some likes and, you know, I was reaching people, wasn't getting a ton of likes, wasn't getting a ton of comments. And I was like, oh, this doesn't feel good. I don't know if this is happening. I don't know if this is working, right? And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I started getting calls. Hey, I've been watching your videos. Can you help me with my social media? Hey, I watched your video. You know, can we talk about my website or whatever? And it just really woke me up. Like, people aren't going to just comment and like and start sharing your stuff. If you have a good rapport with them and you're building this relationship, and I know that sounds weird to build a relationship with a customer through social media, they're paying attention, right? They're paying attention to what you're doing. They're eventually going to want to give back. They're going to appreciate what you're doing. It's not always going to be obvious, right? That's why I think that reach metric is your most important one. If you're reaching people and your audience is growing and not shrinking, to me, you're doing something right. I also say that your customer is your best analytic. once you develop a rapport with your customers, or you have a business advisor or whatever, reach out to them and ask them, like, bluntly tell me, how am I doing? Does this resonate with you, right? Sometimes we need to hear that critical feedback and adjust our strategy to be successful. I'm going to go to some like odds and ends now. Groups are great. LinkedIn and Facebook allows you to create a group. We have a networking group in the marketing company. We've got a couple hundred people in it. You know, it's been good for us. It's served its purpose. There are groups, obviously you probably belong to some groups. If you can think of something that can connect you on a closer level with people in your community, a group might be something you want to think about. The reason why you would create a group is when you belong to a group and someone makes a post, the people in the group are more likely to see that post than someone who just follows your page, right? A group is obviously more closed off. It has to be less salesy, less business. But if you're posting in a group and you're running a group and you're leading a group, that brings you back to that triangle where you're viewed as an expert, right? So think about that as well. Other parting thoughts here. Facebook's probably the dominating platform, I'm guessing, in this audience. Consider setting up the Facebook Business Manager. If you're going to run ads, set up the ad manager, which I think they may have rolled that into Business Manager now. If you don't know what that is, you can YouTube it. I talked about how you know if your plan isn't working. The next biggest thing is carve out time to do this, right? This shouldn't be, oh, it's Tuesday, I have to post. It should be, get your mind into it, learn about the platforms, learn about your audience. And I YouTube everything, right? How do you add a Facebook admin? How do I look at Instagram insights? I YouTube everything. I'm on there like every day looking. This is a starting point for you. This is a journey that you're going to go on. I'm like 15 years into this and I'm still learning. Like, I don't even know the names of the apps. They change them so frequently. But I can tell you, once you get this down, it can be really rewarding for your business and for your own personal professional brand also. And that's it. I'm done. I've made record time this morning.
Yeah, there was that comment earlier about using hashtags.
Yes, let me also show you. So with Instagram, so this is Instagram. Here's our followers. You can put one link in your Instagram profile. So I will say something like link in bio. And what's common is you can have a page on your website, or Linktree is a great example. You create a Linktree account so that you have one link in your bio, and then that link goes out to a page that has multiple links in it, right? And I make them really, so on a phone, which is where you're coming from in Instagram, I put the most common things in here that a customer would want to know. Directions, order online by 8 for the next day, our website, and our hours, right? Your business obviously is going to be different, but this is how you get around just having one link in your Instagram profile. And Facebook has things where you can add buttons. So if you look at Facebook, it's a little different on a phone. Oh my gosh. The Zoom controls, I'm so sorry. The Zoom controls are really tripping me up today. Of course, I'm not going to find it now. Your Facebook page will allow you to have buttons at the top. So, and a profile also. So you can do it there as well.
All right. Another question was, will you talk more about stories and why
Sure.
they're such a big deal?
So stories are fun, right? Let's go to Wolfie's. I'm always afraid to do this because I don't know what's going to come up. So this is a customer of ours. I don't know why this is here. A story is just like a fun thing. It's like a point in time. They only last 24 hours. They're usually more like behind the scenes, something fun, an event, something that you don't want to stay on your feed per se. Facebook and Instagram have them. I don't know if LinkedIn has them yet or not. Honestly, I don't do a ton with LinkedIn, but you can come through here. You can like them. You can send a direct message to the person. You can send icons. It's a way that you can, one of the big things about it is that you have a more direct connection with the reader. So if I like this, only the person who posted it sees it. If I send a reply, I'm not replying publicly, I'm replying directly to them. And then after 24 hours, the story goes away. And if I look at they get pretty decent engagement. So we've got 4,000 followers on our Instagram. I'd say maybe 100 people see a story, which is pretty good. I mean, and the other thing is if you do a whole bunch of posts, people are likely to miss them. You can do a ton of stories, and the platform will, let me go back home. Let me see if I can see. This is my buddy Joey here. So he's only got one story. Let me see if I can find an example of someone who has multiple stories. So this person has 2 stories, right? And it'll flip to the next story right away. So I can consume multiple pieces of content very quickly. Whereas when you're in a feed, you kind of get like, so this person, this Ben and Bill's Falmouth, I'm going to see this one post and then I'm not going to see anything else from them. I'm going to go to someone else. Stories kind of let you engage. Another way to use stories is like sometimes on a Thursday, if you're a bakery, and my first picture might be weighing out ingredients, and the second story is scooping the muffin, and the third one is here's what it looks like in the oven, and then you see the finished product. So there's a lot of different ways you can use that, but I can tell you they're quick, they're easy, they're fun. They let your personality come through a little bit more, and they disappear, right? You don't have to worry about posting too much.
Dale, participant asked, how do you measure success?
That's easy and hard. So if you remember going back to the beginning here, I've got goals, or sorry, I'm from Worcester. I set goals for myself. My content is going to serve a purpose, whether it's to grow my audience, increase my newsletter signups, get people excited about what we're doing, blah, 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 blah. In each one of those goal areas, I have metrics, right? My newsletter signups, I know how many subscribers I have. I know my open rate. Those are metrics that can define my success. If I wanted to just increase followers, great. If I want to sell more product, Facebook will tell me on each post how many people linked out or how many people clicked that link. Those are all what we call KPIs, key performance indicators. You can also track those, the software to track them, or you can track them on your own. If your goals aren't being met through your posts that you define, you're not, to me, that's an easy tell of success. Does that make sense? I know it's not maybe an answer you're looking for, but.
All right. There is a comment from a participant that they love this presentation. However, they consider way too much material for just 45 minutes. Is it possible that this could, in the future, be split into 2 sessions?
Absolutely. And I'm happy to meet with you individually to digest certain pieces of it. The challenge that we have is we'll have people who don't even have a Facebook account, and then we have people who are pretty savvy and walk away feeling like they didn't learn anything. So I appreciate the comment, and absolutely, our goal is to kind of like play it down the middle here.
Another is asking, what is the best way to contact you for follow-up?
Best way would be to Dennis, who sent out who will send out the presentation. If you want to set up a mentoring session, it's really easy. It's free. I can meet in person at Hyannis, or we can do Zoom. I would reply to Dennis and ask him about that process.
And are you willing to share your email?
Yeah, I'm willing to share my email, but I don't know if it's appropriate. I would have to know why. I'm here as a mentor. I'm happy to answer any questions or connect. If you want to connect as a professional, I guess that's okay too, but I'm not here to promote myself. I'm here to engage as a volunteer, but it's
I
fine.
would just comment that as a SCORE chapter member, all of these questions and comments are being recorded, and the gentleman in charge of organizing these webinars will be sending out, as I said, this recording and any additional information that Dale might want to share with SCORE that could be sent out in the same email. So there are multiple ways that you can interact with both Dale and the SCORE Cape Cod SCORE chapter has been mentioned. We have the phone number and our website where you can register for a specific mentor or get additional information.
That's it. I'm done. It's 10 o'clock. If there's any last minute questions, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, enjoy this soggy day.
All righty. Well, thanks. It's been a great presentation.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful day. Let us know if anything else we can do to help.
Okay, that was great, Dale.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.